7,300 days. That's how long Spain has been part of my life. And if I could go back to day one, knowing everything that I know now, would I still do it? Well, moving to Spain, it sounds romantic, right? Endless sunshine, a slower pace of life, and certainly a chance to start afresh. But living here for 20 years, that's something completely different. So stick around because in this video, I'm going to share the truth about what it's really like to live here in Spain long term. And if I was to do it again, would I do anything differently? Okay, so let's get it out of the way. Why I actually came to Spain in the first place. Well, let's go back 20 years. I was 32 years old. I just separated in my marriage. I was running a medium-sized business in the UK, and I'd kind of felt like my life had hit a crossroads. I needed a chance to rebuild, start afresh, a second chapter in life, if you like. And that's what brought me to Spain. But at the same time, I'd also met a Spanish woman, and that was certainly part of the reason why I moved. But it was mostly about reinvention and a chance to create a new life on my own terms. So was it planned? Well, not entirely. And was it impulsive? Well, maybe a little. But it was probably, if I'm being honest, a mixture of the two. And sometimes life only gives you clarity when you're ready to make that leap. And Spain, at the time, felt like that leap for me. So my experience of Spain in the first 6 months was probably a little bit unsettled. I was commuting pretty much weekly between the UK and Spain. As I said, I was running a business in the UK. So for me, I started to wonder what full-time living in Spain would be like. I had this fantasy of sunshine every day, a slower life, friendly people everywhere, cheap food, late nights, and life on my own terms, freedom, if you like. And you know what? Almost all of that was very true. I met wonderful people. I learned new things every single day. I was endlessly curious about the culture, the language, and the way of life. And it felt almost like a rebirth, a fresh start for me in pretty much every single sense. But of course, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say everything was perfect because it wasn't. There were challenges. There were paperwork challenges, bureaucracy, there were property challenges, and the kind of things that you can only really learn by truly living in one place. But those struggles were part of the adventure, and it was part of what made it real, I suppose. So what was the hard part? Well, funny enough, it wasn't the paperwork or learning the language, it was the identity shift. What I mean by that is you leave everything behind. You leave your family, your friends, your routine, your familiarity, and then suddenly you're in a country where you're the outsider. And particularly in the area that I moved to 20 years ago, it's a completely non-English area. You speak Spanish or you speak Gallego, that's it. So you have to completely rebuild your community, your friendships, your trust, and everything about you. And there were lonely days. There were many cultural misunderstandings and there were many other mistakes that cost way more than I expected. But moving abroad can be seriously magical, but at the same time, it's complicated, and especially when you mix it with the fact that you're trying to reinvent your life. So if you're thinking about moving to Spain and starting your second chapter, here are 3 things that I learned, a little bit of practical advice that maybe you'd like to take with you. Number 1 is expect challenges. Spain looks dreamy, but there's bureaucracy, there's cultural differences, and if you're actually mixing moving to Spain and buying a property, and especially if you're renovating it at the same time, that's going to cause you real headaches. Secondly, and this is a really important one, I would say build your community early. Make local friends and find support networks, and it's crucial that you do that. Don't wait until you feel lonely. The third thing is balance your personal goals with reality. So, love or adventure can be reasons to move, but your life needs a solid foundation at the same time. Now, Spain has given me lots of things. It's given me perspective. It's certainly increased my patience levels, although my wife might challenge that one. It's given me time and it's given me freedom over the years to really think about what matters in life. And the other thing that I've noticed as well is that small pleasures become big. For example, fresh bread in the morning, conversations that last hours, walking in the countryside. All these are experiences over things that you would normally put first back in the UK. Now, Spain didn't fix my life. Let's get that right. But what it did do is it gave me space to rebuild, to try new things, and to live a second chapter completely on my own terms. Another thing that I've noticed is that I've changed too. Now, I don't know if it's living in Spain that has made that change, or if it's a combination of living in Spain and aging as well. But I'm certainly more calmer. I'm certainly more aware of what matters in life, less concerned with status and more focused on experiences and just enjoying everyday life. And sometimes it's interesting because I look back and wonder, if I'd have stayed in the UK, my home country, how would my life be now? Would I still be chasing money? Would I still be stressed about business? Would I still be chasing material things? Or would I be as I am now? Age alone certainly changes your perspective, there's no doubt in that. But Spain, I think, accelerated that shift for me. Spain was that stage for growth, I think. I think it certainly helped in that area. And without it, I don't know, maybe I would never have found this version of myself. Sitting here and looking back, it's almost funny because it's the little things that I've noticed that often matter the most. Whether it's sitting with friends, having a coffee in one of the squares, or learning to cook a new dish at home, or even just standing on my balcony watching the sunset. Those quiet moments add up to things that in life that I never really did back in the UK because I didn't have the time, I was too busy, and there were always other things occupying my mind. So the big question, would I do it all again? Absolutely, every single one of those 7,300 days. You see, I didn't come to Spain with expectations, and I think that's maybe why it worked so well for me. Instead, I came with a sense of curiosity, excitement, and adventure. I wanted to see what Spain may bring, and it brought so much more than I could have ever imagined. Okay guys, I'm going to wrap up the video, but if you're sitting there right now wondering whether you should start your own second chapter, just know this one thing: there's no perfect time, there's only decisions. I'd love to hear from you guys also. If you could restart your 7,300 days of life, would you do it? And if so, whereabouts? Let me know in the comments. Anyway guys, if you've enjoyed this video, please take a moment to hit that like button. Also as well, if you can hit the hype button, that would really help me. And lastly, if you haven't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button. It's absolutely free to do, it doesn't cost a penny, but it really helps this channel to continue to grow. Anyway, enjoy whatever you're doing for the rest of the day, and I'll catch you in the next one.